This news update is brought to you by
Grab somebody and tell them hello. Your happiness will be connect to flow. Smile and cheer because that is we flow. Grab somebody and tell them hello. With your hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air. This is how we flow, yeah. Grab somebody and tell them this is how we flow.
This is the Barbados Today evening news update for Friday, October 9. Thank you for joining us. I am Marie-Claire Williams. Police are on the scene of the island's latest shooting. Barbados Today understands that a 26-year-old man was rushed to hospital after being shot at Coleman Road, Jackson, St. Michael. We get the details from the Acting Public Relations Officer, Acting Station Sergeant Roland Cobbler.
Police are conducting investigations into a shooting at Jackson, St. Michael. This latest incident involved a 36-year-old male from the St. Andrew district who was visiting relatives in that area. He became involved in an altercation with two men. Then he was subsequently shot by one of these men. Our investigations into this matter is being continued. Now, this proliferation of gun crimes is indeed a concern, and it should be a concern for every citizen. Since if it's allowed to spiral, it will severely have a negative impact on the development of our society, both socially and economically. So therefore, making a appeal to every citizen to let us address this problem collectively, both citizens and police, so that first must utilize all of our confidential means of reporting so that they can pass information in relation to persons who are in possession of illegal firearms, or if they're aware of where they're being kept, so that they can get these guns off the street.
Okay, was he injured critically? What part of his body was he shot at? Can you say?
He received 2 gunshot wounds to the lower part of his body, lower abdomen.
2 Christchurch men have been arrested in connection with a recent robbery at the Rubis Service Station at the Villages in Coverley in August. 21-year-old Neil Miguel Eversley and 19-year-old Shaquille Omar Beckles were jointly charged yesterday with robbery and assault with intent to rob. Beckles faces an additional charge of possession of cannabis, while Eversley is also being charged with burglary and the theft of a vehicle. Both men appeared before Acting Chief Magistrate Christopher Birch today at the District C Magistrate Court. They pleaded guilty to the offences of possession of cannabis, burglary and the theft of a vehicle, and they are expected to reappear in court on November 5th for sentencing, pending a pre-sentencing report. They were not required to plead to the indictable offence of robbery. They were remanded to Dodds and are due to appear in the District B Magistrates Court on November 27. Government says it will not waive the police certificate of character for potential investors. The certificate is a requirement under the Special Entry and Resident Permit Scheme. The scheme is valid for 5 years and is available to foreigners who want to invest or own property valued at $2 million or more, purchased with funds from outside of Barbados. It is also available for individuals with special skills needed in the country. But Minister of State in the Prime Minister's office, Senator Darcy Boyce, says it is necessary to perform background checks to protect the country's reputation.
And I sometimes have been asked to use the power of the minister to waive those things. I will not. Because if you don't do the appropriate security checks, you're going to run the country's name into some trouble. And we're not doing this to get a few dollars and then run the country's reputation into trouble.
The debate continues over the Caribbean's calls for reparations for slavery. On a recent visit to Jamaica, the UK's Prime Minister David Cameron said slavery was abhorrent in all its forms, but he called on Caribbean countries to move on from their calls for reparations. Political scientist Peter Wickham says while the comments may seem harsh, he agrees with Cameron's position. And he says the region's push for reparations is a lost cause and they should focus their energies elsewhere.
I do feel that we need to start focusing on how do we develop our economies that we have been in control of now for half a century. How do we develop these economies in a way that would allow us to move forward? If we take a battle against the APD, I think that is a battle worth fighting. If we take a battle between other kinds of impositions, that's a battle worth fighting. But the idea of suggesting that we need to go back 300 years and get reparations for slavery, it's not something that's going to happen.
But former Government Minister Hamilton Lashley disagrees. He describes Cameron's comments as insulting, and he's also demanding an apology.
Cameron has a right to apologize to every single black Caribbean person, even in the diaspora, North Carolina, South Carolina, New York, wherever they are. You know, if we say that we should move on and forget, can you forget the death of the atrocities that was committed, particularly by Britain against Caribbean people? You know what I mean? And then for him to offer Jamaica a prison, you know what I mean? It's a serious thing. You know, it shows one little respect he has for us as Caribbean people.
In sports, West Indies scored 127 for 6 on the first day of their 3-day tour match against the Sri Lanka Cricket Board President's 11 today. The match was reduced to 46 overs due to rain. Opener Craig Brathwaite top scored with 46. Shea Hope made 24 not out, and Darren Bravo scored 21. For Sri Lanka, Suraj Randeep took 3 for 33 and Suranga Lakmal 2 for 10.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter. That's the move for me. Stability, prosperity. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
In news from the region, economists in Trinidad are raising concerns that the TT dollar could depreciate if the central bank quashes recent changes to the foreign exchange system. The business community has welcomed the move by the central bank, but economists warned that the decision could result in increased prices.
Businessmen have applauded the finance minister's directive to revert to the old foreign exchange distribution system, but one economist alerted the public to a possible side effect.
It's possible that you're likely to see some depreciation of the TT dollar.
The RBC economist provided this graph showing the average value of the TT dollar over the last 2 years. In April 2014, when the central bank changed the system for US dollars, it cost TT $6.46 to purchase $1 US. Since then, it has cost on average 10 cents less. The US dollar became cheaper to purchase. The value of the TT dollar went up. Economists say if the central bank reverts to the identical system it used before April 2014, it would reintroduce the auction system for US dollars, possibly decreasing the value of the TT dollar. This in an environment where lower energy revenues mean the country is earning less foreign exchange.
There is pressure on the exchange rate from consumers. There is pressure on the exchange rate from the business sector in terms of their day-to-day activities. There is pressure on the foreign exchange rate from the government in terms of some of their transactions as well. That pressure could result in some depreciation of the currency.
It's difficult to predict how much the value of the TT dollar could decline, but a return to the 6.4 range is possible. That could make imports more expensive, and since we import almost everything we consume, retail prices could increase.
And authorities in India are investigating an alleged brutal attack on a 58-year-old Indian woman in Saudi Arabia. The woman's right arm was allegedly chopped off by her employer when she tried to escape from their house last week. She was working as a domestic help. Authorities in Riyadh have not yet commented on the incident.
I understood that they're going to harm me. So I told the lady that I don't need any money and just send me back to India. Then she told that to someone over the phone. Then she locked the door inside. I cried and asked her to open the door. She didn't open the door. Then she pushed me out and locked all the doors.
ఆయన పంట అయినా పోయి కత్తనా అమ్మ తరమా కదుతారమ్మా మా బాబా వసూలు మన పోయిరా బాబా వసూలు మన పోను పొంగ సాగిపోయి అప్పుడు அந்த பொம்பளை வந்து
Then I decided to escape from the house. And while I'm trying to escape through the window by using the sari as a rope, that lady saw that and cut my hand. No one else was at home. She was the only one who was at home at that time. She's the one who cut my arm. Then from the 3rd floor, I fell on the ground.
And that's the news. There's more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. You can catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also tune in to Channel 101 on Flow TV or Mix 96.9 FM for more news and sports. I am Maricla Williams. Have a good weekend.